Special operations isn't for everyone. Only a certain breed of Type A, overly intense and driven men will make it into the community. But what sets these men apart from their brothers in the conventional force? What sets these men apart from normal people? Greetings, team. This is Christopher Littlestone of lifeisaspecialoperation.com. And in today's video, we are going to discuss the psychology of special operations. I want to give you some ideas to think about concerning egos and pride, quitting, being unconventional, training and using your mind as a weapon system, PTSD, decisiveness, and self-awareness. We will discuss both the good side of these qualities and the bad. Frankly, it doesn't matter to me if you join the military or special operations community at all. The purpose of my Life as a Special Operations YouTube channel is not to recruit. My goal is to educate, support, and inform. And so in today's video, we are going to discuss some of the complex dimensions of the special operations psychology. And let's start with ego and pride. The journey to becoming a special operator is almost always fueled by a powerful blend of ego and pride, as in, I want to be the best of the best. The men with these egos become the best of the best by enduring the selection and training requirements of that community. This inherent self-belief, or ego/pride, in many ways is essential psychological armor for enduring training. However, the true mark of character emerges post-accomplishment. For mature operators, sustained success cultivates humility. So the more accomplished you are, the more of a quiet professional that you become. A true professional recognizes that strength lies in the team's collective efforts and continuous learning. On the other side of the spectrum, those who remain fixated on their own individual awesomeness become a burden and a liability to the very team structure that defines special operations. So while ego is required to endure training, humility and a focus on the collective power and capability of the team is what sets good operators apart from the best. No one goes to special operations to build confidence. You go to special operations because you already are overflowing with confidence. So if you're hesitant or unsure, then let me make the decision for you. Don't even think about applying. Special operations is fundamentally unforgiving of weakness. This is because failure is not an option. Soft training is designed to weed out those lacking grit. There's no room for hesitation, second guesses, or the luxury of giving up. Success is the only acceptable outcome, and operators are forced to develop a tenacious sense of perseverance. All too often, it's common and easy to quit. Quit the sports team, quit the course, quit the class, quit the program. And so if you have a predisposition or a tendency to quit, then you won't be successful in the special operations community. Special operations forces are trained to be unconventional, to operate and think outside the box. But as you guys know, I like to say that you should never think outside the box until you know and master what's inside the box. In the military, inside the box is doctrine and tactics. And once you've mastered doctrine and tactics, then you can start thinking unconventionally, outside the box. Working outside the box isn't about being disrespectful or breaking and bypassing the rules. It's about leveraging a comprehensive understanding to innovate and adapt, and ultimately find solutions that yield decisive results in dynamic and unpredictable environments. In the world of finance, we like to discuss the differences between an asset and a liability. The guy who uses his badge or tab or pin to break the rules, or who thinks he's above the rules, he's a liability. But the guy who figures out ways to bypass roadblocks, streamline what was previously inefficient so that he can accomplish the mission, is going to be an asset. And these are people we want on our teams. In the realm of special operations, the most powerful weapon is not a firearm, but a well-trained mind. Operators are taught to approach challenges like a puzzle, to reverse engineer the system into its subcomponents, in order to find ways to exploit the system or bypass the roadblocks. This analytical process, coupled with an inherent ability to think outside the box, allows special operations forces to proactively set the conditions for success. If you like to sit on the couch for hours to mindlessly zone out and be entertained, then you likely don't have the right psychology for special operations. But if you like to figure out how things work and then make them work better, and for you, then you're in the right spot. Let's move on to resilience. Exposure to stress or trauma is inevitable, but the mind's ability to process and move past these experiences is heavily influenced by personal disposition and training. Let's look at post-traumatic stress disorder through the lens of resilience. We'll do so with a very simplified example, as in responses to a car accident. A traumatic event like a car accident will lead to different results for those involved. A weak person will be afraid to drive in a car and lock himself in his house and never leave, or perhaps he'll never drive again, only taking public transportation. Another person was injured or had a loved one injured. This person might be sad and angry. Some will maintain this sadness and anger forever. It becomes their identity. Others will eventually let the sadness and anger go and be brave enough to continue on with their lives. And some people will bounce back immediately from the accident and then go to the car lot the next day and buy a bigger vehicle so that if and when a car accident happens again, they're more likely to survive. If you're the type of person who survives a car accident and then locks yourself in your mama's basement, then you don't really have the right psychology for special operations. But if you're the resilient guy who learns from this traumatic car accident, and then you immediately set the conditions to better protect yourself from a reoccurrence, then you do have the right mentality for special operations. The stark reality of special operations is that it exists on a razor's edge, where life and death decisions are a constant, inherent aspect of the job. Operators must possess the psychological stability and clarity required to make split-second choices with potential catastrophic consequences, and then live with the weight of those outcomes. This extreme environment demands individuals who can function decisively under immense pressure, where hesitation or emotional paralysis can lead directly to mission failure or the loss of life. If you can't make a decision, or if you like to keep your options open until you've thought it through and have a good feeling about something, then you're too slow for special operations. But if you like to be well educated and trained to the point that seeing the big picture becomes natural and making life and death decisions becomes instinctive, then you might have the right mindset. Self-awareness is paramount for SOF. Operators must possess an unvarnished understanding of their strengths, weaknesses, and limitations. Yes, I did say earlier that you must have a bit of an ego and some pride to be brave enough to take the first steps towards SOF. But ultimately, competence comes before confidence. Self-delusion regarding one's abilities is a direct path to catastrophic failure. Lying to oneself will inevitably lead to miscalculations, exposing oneself and the entire team to unnecessary risk of injury or death. No one can be perfect or an expert at everything, but the professional knows his limitations and admits them. Then they find ways to mitigate and compensate for those limitations. If you're the type of guy whose overly inflated self-esteem is not based in reality, then you're never going to make it through special operations training. But if you're the type of person who has an honest opinion of your abilities and are committed to learning and training and growing, then you might have the right psychology for special operations. Ultimately, the psychology of special operations isn't about being superhuman. It's about being grounded and profoundly human in your honesty, resilience, and adaptability. It's the ego that gets you in the door, but the humility that makes you a true asset. It's the refusal to quit, coupled with the unconventional thought process that finds solutions where others see dead ends. It's treating your mind as a weapon system, sharpening it daily, and transforming trauma into a catalyst for growth and decisiveness. And perhaps most critically, it's the unflinching self-awareness that acknowledges limitations and restlessly seeks to overcome them. Do you possess these qualities, not just in aspiration, but in your very core? The answer determines if you have the right psychology for special operations, and perhaps for a life lived with purpose. If you want to learn more about this theme, and developing the champion mindset of the elite special operations community, then please check out my best-selling product, Special Operations Mindset, available in paperback, ebook, audiobook, and a 5-hour online course. Visit lifeasaspecialoperation.com to learn more. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to join my Life as a Special Operation team, and be sure to forward this video to a friend or family member who needs to see it. Life is a special operation. Are you ready for it?